Everyone's heard of JCB, but do you know how the company got its name? It all started with one man, Joseph Cyril Bamford. Yes, Mr. JCB gave his company his own initials. He started everything off in 1945, right at the end of World War II, in a garage measuring 3.66 meters by 4.57 meters, probably about the same size as your bedroom. It was the same day as his son Anthony, now Lord Bamford, was born. The foundation for the growth that was to follow was the manufacture of a tipping trailer made out of wartime scrap, which today stands proudly in the showroom of JCB's World HQ. It was produced in his garage and sold for £45 at the town's market. By 1947 the company was expanding, and because Mr. Bamford's landlady also disapproved of his Sunday working, he moved a few miles down the road to a stable block at Craigmarsh Hall, which was owned by a survivor of the Titanic disaster. By 1950 JCB was on the move again, this time to the site of a former cheese factory in Rochester. 1953 proved to be a pivotal year for new products when Mr. Bamford invented the backhoe loader with the launch of the JCB Mk1 excavator. It was the first time a single machine had been produced with a hydraulic rear excavator and front-mounted shovel. This ingenuity still bears fruit today. JCB has manufactured more than 600,000 backhoes, and they are now made on 3 continents. 1953 was also the year that the famous JCB logo, recognized the world over, was first used on a machine, and it was eventually registered as a trademark 5 years later. In 1961, JCB Aviation was formed, and JCB Aviation is older than many of today's airlines. It was in 1962 that the JCB Dancing Diggers first took a bow, and JCB's first ever overseas subsidiary in Holland was opened. A year later the JCB 3C backhoe, an acknowledged design classic, was launched. Such was the growing success of the company that in 1964, with sales up by 60% to £8 million. In the same year, JCB exported its first ever machine to the USA, a JCB 4C backhoe loader. In 1969 JCB produced a record 4,500 machines, and by now was exporting more than half of them. It was in recognition of this export success that the company received in this year its first ever Queen's Award. Mr. Bamford became a commander of the British Empire in honor of the company's export achievements. 1970 dawn JCB opened up for business in the USA, setting up a base in White Marsh, Baltimore to harness the huge growth opportunity North America offered. Between 1971 and 1973 turnover doubled to £40 million. It started in 1972 with the opening of JCB France. In 1977 the wraps came off the Lodal telescopic handler, a machine which revolutionized the way loads were handled on both construction sites and on farms. The Lodal has gone on to be one of the most successful products in JCB's history. 1977 also marked the start of a number of high-profile visits to JCB by members of the British royal family when HRH the Prince of Wales toured the Rochester factory. A year later another landmark was achieved, the construction of JCB's second factory in the UK, JCB Transmissions in Wrexham. product innovation continued to be the lifeblood of the company, and in 1985 the 3CX Sightmouse tobacco loader was launched and went on to be JCB's biggest ever selling backhoe. It's also the year JCB celebrated the production of its 100,000th backhoe. By 1990 JCB was expanding into new fields with the launch of the JCB Fast Track tractor, the world's first genuine high-speed, full suspension. In 2001 JCB expanded its charitable work with the setting up of the Lady Bamford Charitable Trust in India, with the adoption of a school a few hundred yards from JCB's factory in Balabgarh, near New Delhi. In 2005 JCB opened its factory in Pudong, China. This year also saw JCB set a world record with the JCB Diesel Max Streamliner car. Powered by two JCB Diesel Max engines, it reached speeds of 350.092 miles per hour on the Bonneville Salt Flats in the USA to attain the record of the world's fastest diesel car, a title it still holds today. Meanwhile, in 2008 JCB Heavy Products, which manufactures tracked and wheeled excavators, moved to its brand new factory on the outskirts of Uttoxeter. This was followed in 2009 by a £40 million investment in JCB's factory in Balabgarh, India, to create the world's biggest backhoe loader factory. In 2009 HRH Prince William followed in his father's footsteps of 32 years earlier when he toured the company's headquarters and helped employees celebrate the production of the 750,000th machine. Lord Bamford established the JCB Academy in Rochester, Staffordshire in 2010 to train the country's engineers and business leaders of the future. JCB marked its 70th anniversary. It was the focus on product innovation so dominant in the past 7 decades that endured, as the wraps came off the brand new 3CX compact backhoe loader, a machine 35% smaller than its bigger brother and designed to work on ever-increasingly congested building sites. JCB is also creating employment and entrepreneurship amongst youth through its 15 operator training centers in India. It provides a 1-month certified course on machine operations and maintenance, which includes both classroom and practical training on how to operate JCB machines safely and productively. JCB machinery plays a huge part in sculpting the modern world. From agriculture to construction, power generation and access, machines are on site in over 150 countries around the globe. Thanks for watching.